Unlike other franchises, Sonic is in his own league. Since Sega is so incompetent in managing their own mascot, mistakes, drastic changes, and stupid decisions are bound to occur. Needless to say, Sonic has been through twists and turns for all of his lifespan. So I had the thought, just how inconsistent is the Sonic series? From the writing of the games, to the gameplay, to the consoles they release on, today I'm gonna go over the many inconsistencies of Sonic. Let's get into it. Inconsistency uno. The consoles the games release on vary wildly. With Mario, it's always on Nintendo systems, so you know where to find his games. But for Sonic, it's all over the place. All the classic games released on the Genesis and Saturn. Both adventure games were on the Dreamcast, but were ported to the GameCube through a deal with Nintendo. Heroes released on everything at the time, so did Shadow. 06 was on the Xbox 360 and PS3. Both storybook games were on the Wii, taking advantage of the motion controls for it. For worse, Unleashed is where things get interesting. There's the regular version for the 360 and PS3, but there's another version of it for the Wii and PS2. This version is so different in that the buttons are mapped weirdly, and the game's missing two whole other stages from the HD version, being Skyscraper Scamper and Savannah Citadel. You would think since Colors is on the Wii that there will be a HD version like Unleashed. Nope, there's a DS variant that plays like the Rush games, and you would think Generations would do the same, but not only was it for the 360 and PS3, it was also for the 3DS, and it too plays like the Rush games with completely different levels. Lost World was only on Nintendo systems, so was Boom, and finally Forces is where all the games are on all platforms again. Why was it these games that were on all platforms? Come on, Sega, put a good game on all of them for once. I guess they listen to me. Inconsistency dos. The moveset of Sonic. What moves Sonic can do in each game changes a lot. Sonic 1 has just the jump and spin, so that's kinda lame. But Sonic 2 adds the spin dash, so you can gain speed from nothing. Sonic CD introduces the peel out, which is the spin dash without the spin. So it's the dash? Sonic 3 has the insta shield that gives you one more pixel of range. Why is it a shield? In SA1, you have the homing attack to precisely hit enemies, while the light speed dash dashes across a trail of rings. SA2 improves the light speed dash, but also makes it worse since everything else is on the same button. Somersault is a thing, magic hands exist. The Heroes devs must have been smoking something to remove the spin dash and replace it with Rocket Excel, which doesn't work half the time. Blue Tornado can be used against enemies or to climb poles like a stripper. 06 has the gems that give you special abilities, and like the rest of the game, they're busted. Both storybook games have similar moves that have meters, speed/time break, and soul surge. Too bad you have to strangle the damn remote like how I strangle my Sonic plush. I'll always be mad at you, Sonic. Hey, get off my property, Sonic, I see you! I know that silhouette from anywhere! Unleashed has the boost, which is taken from the Rush games, and just like Magic Hands, sliding also exists! The Werehog is just God of War, but I like God of War, so the Werehog's fine. Colors has the Wisps, which are actually pretty fun to toy with. They're all unique and add to the level design. Generations is the same as Unleashed. Classic Sonic is here as well, and he's got the same moveset as Sonic 2. Lost World is strange. There's now a run button, which is odd, but more odd is the infinite spin dash. Sega, if it's infinite, why not bring back the boost? Boom Rise of Lyric is basically Skylanders, except my guy Spit Roast isn't there. Sonic can attack like the Werehog, but it's just button mashing, like the boring kind. Forces is like Unleashed, but it's heavily restricted. You can't drift, so Sonic turns automatically because of the hallway levels. Double Boost is another thing that exists. It works even if you don't press the button. Double Boost! Immaculate. Frontiers has many moves that are used for combat that really are button combinations into cinematic. This ain't Devil May Cry, folks.
What the hell is this?
The boost does no damage now, so you can't run into enemies, which I love! What's better than good old stopping the flow of gameplay? My favorite. Inconsistency. Triss. The voices of these candy-colored rodents vary as well. It seems to be the norm that Sonic characters get new actors all the time. I'm just waiting for another recast at this point. Sonic himself has had many different voices. First was Jaleel White, His take on Sonic was how you would think American Sonic would sound.
That is not a dream. That is one hedgehog hunk.
Ryan Drummond would take over in Adventure 1. His voice is more like an older version of Jaleel.
Ha! Think I'd miss this? Time to crack that Eggman wide open! Yeah, let's party!
And he would stay up until Shadow the Hedgehog, where he would be replaced with Jason Griffith. Jason has a more lower-pitched tone, making him sound more grown-up.
Whoa! But was that really the king himself? I mean, he seemed way different in the stories.
The role would then change again in Free Riders to Roger Craig Smith. Roger has this even lower-pitched voice, which now makes him sound too old. And unlike Ryan and Jason where they get better over time, Roger flip-flops between sounding alright in Boom
Not a great time, Shadow. I'm a little busy saving the world.
to having this whiny voice in Lost World.
What? Shut up! What kind of question is that? Orbot, no matter what happens, I won't fail again. I will save Tails!
Devin Mack voices Sonic in Sonic Prime, and he has a combination between Roger and Ryan, creating a pretty good blend.
I know. No more vanishing into thin air. Let's just beat these guys to a pulp, and if you still think I'm a traitor, then you can screw my baloney.
Inconsistency Quattro. The writing has also been a bit wishy-washy. The 2000s had serious stories with what happened in the last game affecting the next. It was all interconnected. The 2010s, however, would see a shift in the writing to be more Cocomelon-like, even though Sonic games earlier were made for everyone. It gets so bad in Forces where Sonic is just as jokey as ever when a literal war is going on.
Oh hey, sounds like the party started. Wanna let me go and join in? No? Of course not. You hate fun. The only thing inevitable here is my foot kicking your butt.
Frontiers in comparison has a story more reminiscent of the adventure games Unleashed and Black Knight, more serious while not overly dark like Shadow. Inconsistency Cinco. Getting into the smaller things that don't fit into any specific category, we've all heard about Tails being scared of chaos in Forces despite beating Eggman in Adventure 1. But isn't it also weird that in CD, Amy uses her tarot cards and this is shown in Origins? However, in Frontiers Update 3, she's shown using them again. It's a little weird she suddenly has them despite not being used in every other game. Knuckles' job has been to guard the Master Emerald, but he doesn't even do it. He just goes with Sonic & Co., forgetting he has a job to do. This has been present ever since Heroes, but Sonic Team has tried to bring it back in Frontiers. Too bad it's a bit too late for that now. It always bothered me that Sonic never wears Chip's bracelet after Unleashed. Like, did he forget about it or something? The ages of the characters has always been really strange. In Sonic 3 it says Sonic is 16, but in Heroes it says he's 15. Now that's fine, Heroes released 9 years after Sonic 3. Their ages are bound to change. But it's harder to think that Sonic is 15 due to the deeper voice he has in the 2010s, and even now still. The Wisps are the main power-ups you get in Sonic Colors, and they're freed at the end of the game. Yet in Forces they're in capsules again? How? In Lost World they're also in capsules, but they look more like item boxes. Forces has no excuse though. I bet there's way more inconsistencies out there that I can't think of at the minute. To end the video, let's answer the question. How inconsistent is the Sonic series? A lot. Like, so freaking much. It's such a headache. And if you don't want to get a headache, you can subscribe. I don't know what that'll do about your headache, but you'll be able to see my videos when they release. That's all for now. Cha-cha, bye-bye.